Welcome back, everybody. So I've got some questions on the channel about what I'm doing to prepare for the 2020 deer hunting season, and to be honest, I've already started preparing for that. I'm going to just take you around the gator and show you a few things I've done to get ready for it and to get the food plots ready. So I'm going to show you some food plots here. I've already hit these with glyphosate. I usually get 2 kills on them every summer. I hit it the very end of May, 1st of June. I spray all these food plots to get a good kill on them to knock down all this heavy foliage. You can see where I didn't spray, and then where I did spray, we got a good kill on it right away before the stuff even got too big. I'll go through and hit this again in the probably first week of July, because I'm going to plant the first week of August or the last week of July, and this is all going to be biologic maximum blend brassica. But we got a good kill on this stuff, and I'm going to show you a few other things that I've done to prepare. Let's get on our way. Oh, Scout, you enjoy the gator rides. Okay, we're right in the center of the red brush, and this is a strip food plot. This is where Kaylee actually killed kickers, is right here on the very last day from rifle season out of that hunting shanty up there. And this year we're gonna have an absolutely awesome setup up here. So Carl planted all new seeding in the field right behind us. So that's all brand new seeding. It's gonna be thick clover, and there's oats in there right now, but those will be harvested by the time hunting season gets here. And down here I'm gonna do a mix of winter rye and brassica up high. The issue is, so I do soil samples in all my food plots every couple years, and the issue with this plot is we have really good soil. The pH levels are really good on this high side, but when you get down into the back, the pH levels tank, and it's a lot wetter ground back there. So I have to do a lot more treatment to that ground in the back to get a good stand of brassica back there. So I might not even plant the brassica in the back corner. I might just do straight winter rye, because that can withstand a lot lower pH levels. But there's some other things that you can do during the summer to help out your hunting season, and that is on all these apple trees. You can see I took a dozer in here a few years ago and cleared all this out, and I left these big apple trees. And what you can do is take a chainsaw and go trim these apple trees and make sure those limbs aren't super low to the ground, and cover your point of view down through the food plot. You can see I've had to cut quite a few limbs off this cherry tree right there, and there's actually some crabapple trees right behind that I'm going to cut some limbs on as well to open that up. And then at some point I really need to get a backhoe up here. You can see there's an old ditch. Get out of here and I'll show you. So an issue we have right now, we have a lot of water that drains off these fields right here, and there's a ditch that runs through here. Well, this ditch over the years has really filled in, and we have a really bad spot that's eroded up here, and a lot of the water dumps down into there, and obviously that causes problems for the food plot over here. So instead of the water running down this ditch and out through here, it's running right down into the food plot here, which is obviously not at all what we want. You can see how it gets wet down in there where the dog is, and then ends up running down through there. So I really need to get a backhoe and dig this ditch out good. And once this ditch is dug out good, we'll take care of a lot of those water issues. But for the archery season, we'll get a blind set up, and we'll probably set the blind up right in here. The wind is always coming out of the southwest, which is coming straight this way. And the thing I like about this spot is, especially with all this, all the new seeding that's going to be up there, there's a lot of deer that come out right in the corner over here, and they'll skirt the edge of this corn and come out the backside and come up through here to get to that new seeding. Well, if the blind's set right here, I can shoot them behind me, and I got a clear view of this entire food plot here. So looking forward to that. You can see, you know how I said you can trim a lot of these low-hanging branches off these crabapple trees. I already trimmed a bunch of them off this earlier this spring, but there's certainly more trimming that needs to be done. You can actually see the difference in the ground here. A lot of this dirt is good runoff, you know, silt material. It's got really good pH levels in this top part, and then when you look down there, you can see the soil turns a little more gray. Not quite as good soil, but we'll go up and I'll show you the food plot up top. And we're gonna have the whole top part of this field. We're gonna have an acre of corn, standing corn for this fall, and then we're gonna have an acre of brassica maximum blend in the back corner. And I'm gonna leave that standing corn. I'm gonna knock down a bunch of that standing corn for rifle season, but I'm gonna leave a strip of it that's facing the road, so people that are going up here had some issues last year where people would stop up there and look at all the deer out in my food plot, and of course, second week of rifle season, those deer are really skittish and would get nervous and leave. So if I leave some corn in between that and the road, they shouldn't be able to see it anymore, which will help our cause. And one of the best parts about that shanty being where it is my access. So we'll drive up there and I'll show you what I'm talking about with my access. Okay, so we're at the hunting shanty here, and I see a little bee's nest that we're gonna have to get rid of here. I'll bring some spray up and hit that. But what I'm talking about with this access here, we have a steep little hillside right here that goes down to the bottom of this other field, and then there's a drainage. I'll take the drone up for you right now and show you this drainage that runs down through this backfield, and I can actually access this. I'll drive that gator right down through that drainage and park it right here, so I can drive the gator literally right to the base of this, and I can come up this hill right behind this big stand of cherry trees and sneak right up this stand without, you know, even spooking any deer that are out in this food plot. So this whole corner is going to be all brassica. There's going to be an acre of brassica right there, and then from about right here across is all going to be standing corn all the way back. So we're going to have an absolutely awesome late season honey hole over here, and then I got a little hidey hole brassica food plot that's right down in here. And then of course everything in the back is new seeding, so this is going to be a really fun place to be come end of November, early December. Okay, we're over in the corner now. This is where all this is all going to be planted to brassica right here, and you're going to have standing corn all right here. But what I was going to mention is I took and sprayed deep under the trees here. I took as close to these trees as I could and sprayed it, and what that did is kill all the foliage right, you know, next to the woods. And I've noticed in years past, it creates a lot of opportunity for deer to make scrapes here. You know, these branches are only about 4 or 5 feet off the ground, and those deer will come up through here and just, hey, Scout, come here, Scout. The deer will come up through here and just make scrapes all along this food plot, which is exactly what you want. And then there's multiple ways I'll be able to hunt this. I can hunt it on this side depending on the wind, or I can hunt it on that side depending on the wind for archery season. But the reality of it is, once it gets closer to rifle season, I don't touch any of this. I stay the heck away from everything over here. You don't want any you know, you don't want to pressure these deer whatsoever on this food source. You want them to be super comfortable coming out here, and you want all your deer to bed right here close, so they're not coming from, you know, a long ways away to get to it. So they're out here during the daylight, and I can sneak in and out of that during rifle season without causing any disturbance, and hopefully end up killing a mature deer. Huh, Scout? This is another food plot right here that I've been battling with the past few years. This used to be a really good spot right here in the corner that didn't get too wet. But over the years, we've had a lot of silt build up in this ditch that goes in between the two fields right here. There's a big hillside right there, as you can see, and all that water runs off, you know, our way. And there's not a big enough ditch anymore in between those two fields to catch that water and run it down in there into the woods. So we really need to get a backhoe and dig this ditch back out and take it all the way down into there, just to get that water going that way instead of pooling right here in this food plot. But this is kind of crappy soil down in here too. The pH is pretty low, so I really have to hammer this with lime, you know, each year to get a good stand of brassica or whatever I want to plant in here. But on these wetter plots, I really want to you know, maximize, you know, the effort I put into it by planting stuff that's going to grow good, which is, you know, your winter rye and anything that's tolerant to wet, kind of crappy soil. As of right now, it's pretty dry, obviously, because it hasn't rained in a week or two. But this is a food plot that I can hunt from the shanty over there. It's about a 300-yard poke from the shanty right there, you can see, which isn't a problem for me. 300 yards is no issue at all. And you can get in and out of here in and out of that shanty without any deer out in this food plot even knowing you're coming or going. So it's a good spot. It just needs some maintenance to keep that water from pooling in here. But overall, it's a pretty sweet food plot. I have a tree stand right there on the corner, so it's a fun spot to archery hunt, especially because Brian planted new seeding on his field right here, and that's all a huge, you know, just really thick stand of clover. So when a lot of the deer bed over in here in this thick stuff, and they'll come out and feed across this food plot and usually cut that corner to go up into that new seeding. And I mean, that makes for a chip shot out of that tree stand. So it's really a good spot to sit in with my recurve or something, you know, if I want a really close kill shot with that. But let's go check out a few more spots. Figured I'd just show you the gator pass down through the woods, and you know how I keep, you know, the foliage from growing in them and whatnot. I'll just hook up my sprayer on my gator, and you know, the very end of May I'll go through and just spray all these gator pass, and it works out great. It keeps them wide open. And if you need some bridges for four-wheeler paths, or you know, any type of paths through your woods that, you know, it gets really swampy or thick, a really cheap way to do that is to get some pallets, treated pallets. Don't use those cheap pallets. Get some treated pallets, and you can put in some pallet bridges like I did right here. This is just a really wet swallow that goes down through here and feeds off into the swamp. And I'll tell you what, you get, every time I would try to go through there in that gator, it would get so stuck, and then I have to winch to that tree and winch myself up out of there. And I got sick of it and finally decided to build one of these pallet bridges, and it's been great. I mean, this can get super wet in here and it doesn't bother me a bit. I can go right over it. And you know, what's surprising is that critters use this too. You'll see bear tracks walking straight across here. It's kind of funny. But the path goes right up through there. I'll go over by the creek and show you my tree stand over there that has been so good for me over the years for getting really close kill shots with my recurve, and just a really good rut spot. Really thick bedding area down in there next to the creek. We'll go show you that spot. Okay, you can see where my tree stand is right there. It's a ladder stand, and it's one of those double seaters. I like those because you get an awful lot of room in them, and obviously your shots are going to be pretty close out of that tree stand. I'm only 10 yards from it right here, and you can see where this gator pass goes right up through the thicket, and I've got all the brush and everything killed, so it's wide open, and the deer use this like crazy. I have a trail camera set up there over a sluice pipe I put in this spring, and the deer are just constantly coming in and out of there, and there's a ton of bears using this too down through here. They walk right around here, and we got some thick rosemary bushes right here, and the deer walk right down through here. You can see all the deer tracks through there, and it's just a absolutely perfect spot. I got lots of cover coming from that way where the trail comes through, and I got tons of cover coming from that way. So as soon as I get into an opening right here, I have a perfect spot for the kill shot. And I've killed a recurved doe right here at 10 yards, and I killed a recurved doe standing right here. The creek runs right through there, and she actually came from over here and was walking through this little pinch point in between the creek. The creek's only about 40 yards from the stand here, and I shot her with a recurve right there. So the stand's been really good to me, but it didn't come easy. I had to do a lot of work to make this path come down through here, and over the years I just do a little bit more each year. And if you go all the way to the end of this, the duck blind will be on your left. It gets really thick down in there, but it's a great spot, no question about that. I need to get some gravel in here and fill in some of these wet holes, but like I said, it's just stuff that you can work on, you know, year round to keep these spots getting better and better. You can see I've done a lot of cutting over the years in here with thorn apple trees coming across, and always stuff you can be doing to make your deer hunting better. That's gonna do it on this video, everybody. If you have any questions about any of it, any of my food plots or the way I do anything, just leave them in the comment section below. I'm actually gonna put a link to a video called My Food Plot Secrets right in the description here, and it pretty much shows exactly how I prepare and plant all my food plots. It tells you what kind of seed I plant. So if you have any questions about those food plots in general, they'll be in that first link in the description called My Food Plot Secrets. But if you kind of enjoyed a video like that, it's kind of random. I just went around and talked about some of the property and where the food plots are. I could go way more in depth in some, you know, in some other areas than I did. If you want to hear more videos or see more videos kind of similar to this one, as the summer progresses and as I start doing a little bit more to prepare for hunting season, just tell me in the comments that you liked it and you want to see a little bit more. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. I hope that you guys are starting to prepare for your hunting seasons where you're at. Have a good one, everybody.